Hi everybody, this is Lee and this video is about Unicorn Riot and their upcoming film project, Black Snake Killaz. And yes, Killaz is spelled K-I-L-L-A-Z, of course. Unicorn Riot were at the Dakota Access Pipeline for quite a lot of the action that took place. I'm going to talk more about them after I talk about their film. But Black Snake Killaz is a NoDAPL story, and this is from a press release on their website. It's a feature-length documentary film about the resistance to the Dakota Access Pipeline. This film will explore actions taken by water protectors to stop the construction of the oil pipeline. The documentary will also highlight the actions taken by law enforcement, military, and corporate mercenaries to quell the months-long protest. Black Snake Killaz will timeline the historical events that took place throughout last year and tell the story of how it all went down. And so the Unicorn Riot says that this is the raw experience from frontline actions throughout the struggle, and that though the DAPL pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline, is completed, the impact of the movement will be long-lasting. And so they discuss the problem of fossil fuel extraction. But they say that the film is actually a collaborative Creative Commons project being produced by Unicorn Riot, a nonprofit 501c3 educational media organization. And the journalists were on the ground covering the demonstrations throughout the entire campaign to stop DAPL. They've gathered their extensive footage and they're working hard to produce the film for historic and educational purposes. They need help in the creation of the documentary. Research, editing, and other aspects of production are still to be completed, and that they're hoping to gather sufficient financial support for the project to wrap up remaining interviews and finish the post-production phase of the film. And so they also need funding for hardware such as external hard drives, a better editing station, and support for cloud-based file sharing. They also need to cover travel logistics expenses for the interviews and other on-location shoots. And they are also seeking funding to submit the documentary to various film festivals. And so they will make this film available for viewing for free via the internet. And they expect to release it this fall, 2017. Okay, so about Unicorn Riot, on April 1st, 2016, when the Sacred Stone Camp was established, Unicorn Riot found itself at the beginning of the NoDAPL movement. The organization responded to a press release making public the intention to establish the camp and sent 2 journalists on that day to document the story. And so all throughout 2016, 9 of their journalists were able to visit and document the growing resistance camps. And 4 of the journalists were arrested a total of 5 times. They created 89 articles about NoDAPL and documented the movement from Iowa to North Dakota, and hundreds of hours of footage and live video streams. Okay, and so Unicorn Riot is an independent nonprofit media organization. They operate free from corporate and government funding with support from viewers. Their purpose is to amplify the voices of people who might otherwise go unheard and broadcast the stories that might otherwise go untold. Okay, and so the fundraiser for the post-production for this film will last from April 15th to June 15th, 2017. And so it sounds like since Unicorn Riot was actually on the ground, on the front lines, right when the camps were established back in April 2016, it looks like they have the beginning to the, right from the beginning, all throughout the entire campaign. Definitely, I saw footage on the internet of what they were shooting. I saw their arrest of some of the journalists, and that they remained filming even when other journalists kind of backed away. They stayed, and so they do have, I can imagine, quite a bit of footage. I didn't start covering the story myself until August of 2016. And so it's a good thing that Unicorn Riot has so much footage from 4 months before, or several. I'm not sure what April to August is. Uh, all that footage from those months that came before the story really broke wide. So it sounds like this might be a very intensive bit of filmmaking. If you have interest, I'm going to go ahead and post a link to this page so you can see more of what Unicorn Riot is trying to do. Definitely, it sounds like a worthwhile project. Those pipelines are still, very controversial. There's still issues. People are still fighting them. The fight continues all across the United States. There are pipeline fights. And so it might be good to get a clear history of why fossil fuel extraction is so harmful, despite the propaganda that has invaded the airwaves about jobs, 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 and energy independence, and all kinds of stuff that we find is not necessarily so. This is how you break through propaganda, by establishing your own narrative of the truth. And that is what it sounds like Unicorn Riot is trying to do with Black Snake Killaz. So anyway, the link will be in the description. You can find out more, and hopefully this project will be successful and educational, and that it will provide a long-lasting historical document of what happened at the Dakota Access Pipeline. Good luck.